Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and welcome to day 3 of the Esper week on StrataGames here. I've been just kind of arbitrarily making videos this week that are all Esper decks, or at least guilds in the Esper Shard. And today I have an entirely new home brew that will likely not work very well, but that's what I'm here for. I, like a lot of people, have tried to make Malakir Blood-Priest work for a long time. This is a 2-1 when it enters. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures in your party. And I figured it was about time to at least try this out, even if it's not going to be perfect here. So these last 4 columns, I've broken out our creature types. The creature types in party are Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard. The Blood-Priest itself is a Cleric, and we have a Graveyard sub-theme here because we're going to be doing our best to unearth or Jolted Awake the Blood-Priest so that we can get multiple triggers from it, and so that we have resilient creatures that can come back so it's easier to assemble our party. So to that end, we have Lunark Veteran, which is another Cleric on both sides. Sneaky Snacker is one of our rogues. Of course, probably the best rogue in the format. Very easy to come back. We're playing Merfolk Looter as another rogue. This is a nice way to fill the graveyard and to just find our various party pieces. Warriors was probably the hardest one to make work, seeing as we're not playing red, the main warrior color, and surprisingly the warriors we're playing are actually not even white. Ilvoy Galeblade is a warrior, which you can cycle to draw a card, which could be our 3rd card for Sneaky Snacker, and this can just ping in for a little bit of damage over a few turns. And a Cursed Marauder, which is removal, and also a nice one to unearth several times to remove multiple of our opponent's creatures. And then for our wizards, again, kind of interestingly, we have only one blue wizard because Rafine's Informant is our main wizard. It loots, so it's another one to nicely go with Sneaky Snacker or Lunark Veteran. Viscera Seer is here to scry to help find our party pieces, as well as sacrificing our Blood-Priest that's already on the field so that we can unearth it again right away. And a 1-of Deputy of Acquittals. There were a lot more creatures I was trying to fit into this deck, and a lot of the numbers are wonky because we needed a surplus of creatures in these types. I got 7 for most of them, 6 warriors. And I would have loved to add 4 or 5 more creatures of every single type, but I also felt we needed a few other cards as well, and there's only so much room in here. Deputy of Acquittals is nice because it can save any of the creatures of ours on the board, or give us another ETB of an Accursed Marauder, or especially the Malakir Blood-Priest. Since we have quite a few ETBs on here, we also have a couple Ephemerates to double and triple up on the Blood-Priest triggers, and we're kind of a mid-rangey deck, so there's nothing wrong with ever playing some cast downs as removal. For our mana base, we are playing 4 Lorien Revealed, 2 Contaminated Aquifer, 2 Idyllic Beachfront, and 4 Contaminated Landscapes, and then a bunch of basics. In our sideboard, I made sure to include at least a couple creatures that fit our creature types, so it's easier to sideboard them in and out. 2 Dawnbringer Clerics and 2 Fairy Macabres, which are Clerics, obviously, and Rogues, respectively. And then the rest of our sideboard's pretty standard. Extract a Confession, Arms of Hadar, Blue Elemental Blast, and Dust to Dust. So I don't know how many wins we're going to get, but I think this one will be quite fun. Let's take it for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Alright, we are missing white mana. I mean, we can get white mana from Lorien Revealed or the landscape, so we're not missing it, but we're missing it on curve kind of here. It looks like we might be against Spy or Walls, or Spy Walls, which I can't say we are super prepared for. I think we play landscape so we can get the Informant down on turn 2. They have an Overgrown Battlement. We only have 3 cast downs in the deck, and that's all that we have for interaction, so probably is going to be a tough one, but we will see. Blood-Priest is decent. Play Informant, discard this Snacker, and pass the turn. They have 4 mana for Shield Wall Sentinel, so it looks like just regular walls. They just get a Caretaker. Probably means they just want a high density of creatures. Swing for 3, and I guess I might as well play the Blood-Priest. It's only for 2, but Lunark Veteran doesn't contribute to this since we already have the Cleric. Crashing Drawbridge. Winding Way. Hits just Aquarian Ranger, although that's a pretty good one, honestly. And they have a Lead the Stampede, which also whiffs pretty bad, just getting a Fyndhorn Elves. This is the only way we have a shot, so maybe we can get there. They have another Lead the Stampede. Why not? Why wouldn't they? That one hits Drift and Caretaker. Play these guys. Drift can maybe get there next turn. Well, we can swing for 5 here. I mean, they can block, and they could block this one too if they want, which they do with the elves. Cycle Lorien for an island. Play a veteran. Play a Blood-Priest. Realizing we might not need any clerics in the deck other than just the Blood-Priests, because when they enter, they're going to trigger themselves. The only reason that the veteran could be helpful is if the Blood-Priest gets removed in response, and also if we just play against a red deck, it won't be bad at all, but maybe those 3 slots could just be more of the other 3. Here they're going to transmute the Drift into Third Path Savant, which can just draw 2 cards for 7 mana. This taps for 6, so they can only use it once, but drawing 2 cards once now and then twice next turn is pretty good. Not to mention they might draw like another Ranger, but they don't. Okay, Viscera Seer is not bad because it can put these in the graveyard to bring back with the Jolted Awake. However, it's just another wizard, which means we're still only at 2 here. Well, we're going to attack with everybody, see what they got. Untap the Shield Wall Sentinel, block the Blight Priests, so they take 4. Yeah, because we never got the Snacker back, which is really unfortunate. I guess I should cycle this Lorien for blue-white. Play Lunarch Veteran, Viscera Seer. I could unearth the Blight Priest now, but there's not really a reason to. Winding Way. That one hits 4 creatures. Play the Secret Door, Battlement, Leaf Caller. Leaf Caller means Drift can find Freed from the Real, which will be infinite. And they can draw their whole deck or kill us with the Secret Door. Alright, Arms of Adar is not the best thing ever, but they are probably going to block a lot of our guys because we'll run into them. That's something. The life gain from the veterans is super unnecessary. Fairy Macabre might do something. Extract can hit a creature, but that's not very good. Alright, Cursed Marauder, turn 2. Then we have a Jolted Awake later. I guess I probably want to play Merfolk Looter first, and then we play the Marauder. We'll give it a try, though. They mulligan once. There's a Llanowar Elves. Pull out an island. We get a Gale Blade. I am going to go for the Looter. It's possible I should just Marauder and take away their first creature. I kind of want to get the Looter going for the Snacker, trying to draw white mana, a lot of things. Axebane Guardian. If I can get a Plains off the top here, I can Marauder both of these away. That'd be really good. That's not it. We'll loot, unearth. Well, we're going to Marauder, eat the Elves. They play Caretaker, Freed from the Real, and they just have Infinite immediately. They Winding Way, and they find Third Path Savant, which is going to do it. Turn 3. Well, I was muted for the first little bit, unfortunately, but nothing much has happened. Our opponent did mulligan to 5, and they're on Elves almost assuredly, because that's what they usually play. We kept a medium hand. They didn't get the best Winding Way ever, but we get to flash in a Gale Blade and hope that this can carry us the whole way there. I think I should play Landscape so I can have black mana, in case we get the Blight Priest. They cycle the Generous Ent for a Forest, and just play Masked Vandal. Well, good to know they really don't have too much going on. Then again, neither do we. Play Beachfront and pass. They cycle another Ent, play a Forest, and lead the Stampede, revealing 2 Llanowar, Timberwatch, and a Sagu Wildling. Informant is a decent draw. Can play that. And I mean, if I could find the Blood Priest right here, mill it, and then unearth, that'd be pretty cool. We'll get rid of an Informant, and we'll just unearth that, I suppose. Cursed Marauder. Okay, we'll get rid of the Veteran. I can play a Cursed Marauder and Ephemerate it twice to take a bunch of their creatures away. Of course, if they play like a bunch of Llanowar Elves this turn, that's not going to be the most effective thing ever. Quarian Ranger. They said they were playing around Spell Stutter, which is fair. That was a card I thought about putting in the deck, but decided to go against the Fairies bit. Gale Blade. I mean, if we could get them to chump or trade with one of these guys, then I could wipe their whole board with a Cursed Marauder Ephemerate. But they decide to take it all, which is fair. I mean, I also lose my board, to be fair. I Marauder, have to sack like a Gale Blade, Ephemerate it, lose an Informant, Ephemerate it, lose an Informant. That's not very good either. I guess now I just want to chip in with Flyers. And then if we can find the Blood Priest, we could like finish them off. So if I could attack for like 3 with the 2 Gale Blades and the Phantom, and then play a Blood Priest, which would hit for 3... Well, they play a Wildling. That does make things a little worse. They play their Elves. And swing with the Vandal. Which would be for +5, maybe +10. Flash in a Gale Blade. And I probably should block. Which means they don't have to tap this. I could Ephemerate it. That doesn't seem very good. If we're going to Ephemerate, I should probably do it on this guy so that I can get him on the backside. And maybe I should just not waste the Ephemerate here. I think that actually might be the play, in case we do get the Blood-Priest. But untap Vandal, replay the Forest, play a Mystic. I could get another loot off an Informant. I think that's probably for the best. The counter doesn't matter too much. Sneaky Snacker we'll put in the grave. We get a looter. I could crack a Galeblade to get our Snacker back, which I could then play Marauder and like eat one of their guys. I think I'd just play looter and then Marauder and sack the Veteran. Well, we have a full party. Well, we just lost our Cleric, but a Blood-Priest would give us our full party again. So I could drain for 4, Ephemerate for 4 more. There's another Vandal. Luckily not doing too much, just adding to their Elves count, which is, you know, pretty bad, I will say. This is 7, so it could be plus 14. I guess I block here. I don't really want to lose a Wizard, Rogue. We have Warriors. We'll block like this. If they want to pump here, then I at least eat their Elves, which they do. Make it a 10-10, untap, and they save 1 elf. Play their Forest. We get a Lorien. I'll loot. Get another Lorien. Alright, we're going to concede. Maybe Arms of Vidar and Extract will help here. Dawnbringer could hit some stuff. I mean, the Veterans are pretty unnecessary. Marauders could be good theoretically. We just were 1 off from being able to really use them effectively there. Alright, this does deal with Elves pretty decently. 2 cast downs and an Arms of Vidar. Might actually have a chance at winning this one. Start with the Beachfront, Fintorn Elves. That's a nice draw. I'm not going to cast down the Elves, so we'll just play our Looter. They play a Timberwatch. I'm going to have to cast that one down. We will loot first. Unearth. Okay. Guess I could just get rid of the Informant and then unearth it. Sure. We'll cast this guy down right now and play a Landscape. That guy's going to throw off the ability to Arms of Vidar, so I might as well just do it now. They cycle a Generous Ent and lead the Stampede. Timberwatch, Zon, and Llanowar Elves. Interesting. Get another Swamp here. Zon does not get cast down, notably. We will loot. We get a Galeblade. We'll get rid of that. Play Informant. Loot away a Looter. Play a land. And pass. I could unearth the Informant. Yeah, that might be better. I'd obviously love to go for the main strategy, but having 2 3/2s if I can wipe their board is a decent way to finish the game quickly. So we'll get rid of the Seer. Plus one of them might have to trade for Zon, which is also fine. Tap 3, cast Zon. Grab a basic. Replay Elves. Sacrifice this for a white. You get a Looter. We'll activate Looter and another Unearth. Do I want 2 Looters? It is... Well, I guess even if I want 2 Looters, I could... I'm not getting rid of one of these, so I'd be getting rid of the Unearth. So I could just do it for cheaper, so I might as well get rid of it either way. We'll attack for 6. I'm not going to cast down or arms this turn, but if they want to trade for this, that's fine. I would cast this down if I could, but remember, it's legendary, which I cannot kill. Do I want to just unearth my Informant again? Yeah, I kind of think this is our game plan. There's the Priest. I've gone through a bunch of unearths already. It hits for 3. It's good. It's not the best thing ever. I think the removal spells are definitely better. But now if we find unearths, I could start using that. Unearth and Jolted Awake. They play a Timberwatch Elf, Elvish Mystic, sandbagging the Llanowar Elves, but this is what I was wanting. Assuming I'm hoping they don't have something to counter this, but we'll definitely Arms of Vidar them for a nice 3-for-1, and I could loot, or I could just hit for 7. Loot away the Snacker. I think we'll just attack. Every point of damage matters. They have a lead the Stampede. They get Generous Ent, another Elves, Llanowar that is, Timberwatch, and Sagu Wildling. Cycle the Gent for a Gingerbread Cabin. Nice include. Play Llanowar and Finhorn Elves. Llanowar still in hand. Ooh, Unearth. So if we attack with the Merfolk Looter, they'll definitely block. Then I could just cast a Snacker. I think that's fine. Obviously, it's a little awkward the moment that I drew the Snacker, I stopped looting, but I don't have a way to draw a second card at the moment. They block an Informant, okay. So Malakir's not quite lethal. So I probably sandbag it. Yeah, this means I can also cast down whatever they play here, which I assume is the Wildling plus maybe something else. They do have Aquarian Ranger, which means they could bounce the cabin, replay it for another food, which they will. And they play the Wildling. Pass the turn. Well, we're going to cast that down. I assume they're just using the extra mana they have to crack some food. Island. See, that makes me want to just loot with this. They could be at 15. We could hit for 8. Yeah, I think we will loot. Just attack with the rest. They double block the informant here. Tap 2 to crack the food. Okay, I expected them to bounce the cabin one more time and untap the guy. They could have activated food, but they did not. They go to 7. We'll loot. We do get a cast down. I thought about looting in response to see if I wanted to cast down one of their guys there, but I decided I didn't want to cast down either way. We are going to unearth. I could go for the Blood-Priest, which just pings them for 3. They go to 4, but they still have a food. Or I could get a Rafine's Informant. That only attacks for slightly more, though. I think I go for the Priest. Drain them for 3. And they say that they gotta leave, so they conceded the whole match. Because they were so scared. I mean, it was looking good for that game, to be honest. Another Priest off the top. Like, I don't know exactly what they would have played. Obviously, they could have just done, like, Timberwatch, Llanowar, crack a food, go back up to 7 because they were about to lose 7 here, or 3 here, excuse me. But then I can cast down the Timberwatch, attack, they chump here, they take 5 down to 2, and then I play a Priest and ping them for another 2, I guess, if we lost. No, we wouldn't have lost the Wizard, so 3. It looked like we might have won this game here, to be honest. I'm not sure, unless we got a very similar hand. I'm not sure we would have won game 3, but I guess we technically got the match. All right, this hand looks okay. We have the potential to Marauder and then unearth it. If we get a white mana, I could even like Marauder Ephemerate, and we'd only have to sacrifice 1 thing. We get 2 back out of them, which if they're like Black Sack could be decent, but we didn't get that. So I think we're just going to pass. I'm not going to play the Viscerus here for no value here, in case we do want to like double Marauder or something. Cycle a Troll, so that's much more of an indication they're probably playing Gardens, which unfortunately means we do need to go on the offensive, and the Marauder gets bad. Unearth is good, but if I don't hit a Plains here, I have a really slow start, so. Well, we hit the Plains, but it is a tap land, and we get another Viscerus here. I guess we're doing Viscera Beatdown here. They have a Tithing Blade, so I have to sack 1 to the Tithing Blade. I can't activate one of these abilities in response unless I want to lose both of them. But if they like Defile this one, I can sack it for a Scry. And they have Spellbomb, which could be pretty annoying, since we are a bit of a graveyard deck. We'll swing for 1, play Rafine's Informant. I'm going to get rid of the Marauder because they're not playing a deck that has very many creatures, plus we already have a cast down. We have another cast down. Yeah, I still think the cast downs are going to be better than the Marauder in this case. They have a Marauder. That's not fair, especially if they sacrifice it to an offering or something. But it looks like no. I'm just going to get rid of the Seer, keep the bigger guy, which I expect to probably die to something else, some other removal. Unearth is not looking too hot right now with their Spellbomb. Swing for 3. They're going to Defile, and I will Ephemerate it, just to try to keep something around. And Blood-Priest is something. Unearth just looks like trash right now, but am I really going to need 2 cast downs in this game? I think if they get to the point where they're casting 2 creatures, we're probably not going to be in a good spot. I think I'm just going to get rid of 1 of them. And then I'm going to play this guy for just 2 because I would like more attackers. And it's a nice one to Ephemerate when that comes off rebound. I also kept the Unearth because I feel like there's a possibility they might like crack the Spellbomb there or at some point, and then it'll get its value back. But if not, I can always just cycle it. They offering the Tithing Blade. Rebound, we're obviously going to target the Priest. See if they want to do anything about that. They have a cast down. Sure, we'll let that go. Swing for 3. I'm going to cycle Unearth now, see if I can draw anything else. I could cycle the Landscape, but I might actually want the 5th land if I get a Lorien, or if I get a land here, then I know I can cycle this with no fear now. They offer the map. Looter, we'll swing for 3. They have another Defile. We will cycle the Landscape. Snacker is not the best with a Spellbomb around. We'll play the Looter. They have a Lembas. We untap with the Looter. We have our Jolted Awake. I guess I might as well attack with this Looter because discarding a Snacker doesn't do much here. So I'm just going to hard cast it, I think. And Jolted Awake doesn't do much here either. They're going to draw 2. They have a Crypt Rats for 1 here. And Rot Farm. We'll cycle Jolted Awake for a Gale Blade, which I could flash out if I want that to die too. I mean, I guess they're letting us get value off the Looter. I'll attack with the Snacker. Then I get to loot, get rid of a Swamp, and I'll play an Informant, which is going to bring back the Snacker, but they're going to Spellbomb it away, I'm sure. I'm just going to get rid of the cast down. They've pretty much gained control of this game, I think, and if they like get a creature of some sort, we're probably just going to lose. So I don't think it really matters. Colony Garden, and another Spellbomb. Thought maybe we'd be free. Flash in the Gale Blade. swing with the team. They're going to chump block, and I'll cycle this landscape, play a snacker. If they have a board wipe, like another Crypt Rats or whatever, then I'm just going to concede. It's not going to matter that I can like hold up Galeblade and like draw a card here, I don't think. And they're going to pulse back Crypt Rats, so yeah. Very Macabre, maybe? Marauders and cast downs are not very good. So we'll bring in the creatures, and like a Dust to Dust could get some relevant artifacts maybe. Alright, we have an okay hand. We'll give it a try. We need some black mana, but then we have like Priest with Ephemerate, and that could be decent. I'm just going to play Island so I can play the Galeblade this turn. They're going to cycle Troll for a swamp. Play that. We'll flash in a Galeblade, which they're going to defile. I don't really want to Ephemerate that. I guess we'll just let it go. There's our black mana slowly. Lembas. They play a Rot Farm. We get Unearth. Fortunately, since this is a cleric, all we have are clerics for this Blood-Priest. I don't know why I keep saying Blight-Priest. But I'm not sure there's a reason to save it longer, because we don't even have like the Fairy Macabre that we could play very soon. I guess I could have discarded the Fairy Macabre just to its ability, then unearthed it. They replay Colony Garden and pass. We get an Aquifer. Swing for 2, or 3 rather, but some of it'll probably get blocked. All of it'll get blocked. They draw 2. That might herald a Crypt Rats, the fact that they blocked, or a Drown in Sorrow, I suppose. Yep. Pajuka Bog. Alright, and they thwarted us. Alright, we have an okay one here. We will see how it goes. No blue mana makes it a little awkward. Shambling Gas looks pretty good against us. There's the blue mana. I think we're against Black Sack. I mean, I gotta play this looter regardless. Like, they could just kill off the gas to pick off the looter, but everything in our hand has 1 toughness, so it doesn't really matter. I'll take 1. They're gonna Village Rites it. There goes looter. Carrion Feeder. Foolishly played by itself, so I'd probably just Marauder that away. Everything in hand costs 2, so that's a bit unfortunate. Play another Ghast. Shambler. Sage. We get a Snacker. I guess we're gonna Informant to discard a Snacker and see if we get a land. We don't. More Priests. This also blocks, which is decent. They have a Perigee Beckoner. That's pretty good. On the Shambler, which we're obviously not blocking that. Or the Ghast, since that would also trade. Another Sage, and Beckoner's gone. No sack outlet for the Shambler. Okay, not the worst thing ever. We have another Informant. Part of me wants to just play the Snacker, but it just makes more sense to do this in case we find a land or a way to bring these back. Marauder's a warrior. I mean, we're kind of on the cusp of assembling party. Dark Ritual, just to play a Beckoner. Fair enough. They get in for another 4. Ugh, Marauder's so bad here. I think I just trade with this guy. Slow the damage a little bit. I have a cast down for the Beckoner. Finally get our next land. Gonna cast this down now just in case they have a stamina for it. Pass the turn. Another Sage. They do attack to get some flyers. Okay. Probably should have attacked the Shambler because they could bluff drawing the other thing. Lorien Revealed. If I get a land, that can get my Snackers back. I think here I'm playing Blight-Priest. Marauder's just so trash. I was going to say Blood-Priest and then I Marauder, sacking the Priest, and then the next Priest is more, which is true, but then they just get like another flyer, which is pretty not good. So I could just play 2 Blood-Priests, which is also not the best thing ever. Well, we're playing 1 either way, and yeah, I guess we might as well get one of their guys out of the way. Pass the turn here. Swing for 2 flying. They pass. We get a Viscera Seer. It's a wizard. I already have a wizard, but that's fine. Play the Priest. And now I'll swing with the Informant. They double block. I think that's smart. They're swinging with everybody. I guess it's probably smart to trade with this squirrel. We get a land. Unfortunately, it's a tap land. I also have 2 cards they've been holding on to. Could be like a Right of Consumption. Play a land here. Maybe just an extra land to bluff. Swing for 3. Now we get the Lorians, the second one. Hit for 3, and we are going to draw 3. Get back our Snackers. They still swing for 3. Okay, no stamina into Right of Consumption to kill us. Looks like they have a Village Rites. Shambler, pass. We have 7 damage here. Then I can sacrifice this, bring it back. That's lethal. But I need to get in, so should I think I should just cast this down so it can't block. Attack with the team, hit for 7, sacrifice Priest, Snacker stays on top. We have a rogue, a wizard, a warrior, And boom, we're going to hit him for 4 with our party. All right, the deck actually worked once. We got arms, extract. Marauder was real rough. Everything else is okay. Life gain from veteran isn't amazing, but it does chump block twice. Fairy Macabre is pretty decent, especially with Beckoners in their list. Like it's not it's okay, but it's especially good with the Beckoners. If they didn't have Beckoners, I don't think it'd be worth it. Yeah, I guess we're cutting these guys. And Veterans chump block. We'll cut a Viscerus here. Sure. We have blue and then blue-black. There's a Shambling Ghast. Swing for 1. Nested Shambler. We'll just cycle Lorien for blue-black. And pass. I think we're taking 2. Again. I could try to block one of these, but yeah, there's a stamina. But Galeblade's mostly probably better to just like block and chump a big guy, although it looks like they're just going to be going wide this time, potentially. No land. Do get a beachfront. I could play something, but I could also hold this up to sacrifice. We have a bunch of Unearths and Jolted Awakes. I feel like it actually makes sense to just play this guy for 2. Because like if I keep this alive but trade with this, then I could play a Wizard, Jolt this awake, hit for another 3. Of course, they could just like pick off whatever they want here. Dark Ritual, into Beetle, Cursed Marauder. Yep, sacrifice this guy. Ah, yes, and they Shambling Ghast, pick off the other one. Gotcha. Swing for 4. Galeblade. Well, I'm going to play Seer, Galeblade, Jolt this guy awake, so I can drain for another 3. Maybe the secret is to just have all 1-drops. I kept it to 2 drops and less, but all 1-drops specifically. Sadistically, that's pretty good. Who would play these cards? How am I supposed to win? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, these can easily be lethal, both of them. I mean, this might even already be lethal. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then they sacrifice this. And it's a 6/6, so that's 12 more. So this Carrion Feeder can hit for like 13. If they have a stamina, even more. Also, this grows it even more, but we're gonna scry here. Actually, let's just concede. We can't beat these. Even if we get like a cast down, we're only gonna have 1. Let's just go to the next game. This doesn't seem very good. This has a bunch of removal, but only 1 land. Alright, we'll keep this one. I guess we'll keep double Looter, because with Snackers and things, it can bring them back and it can be decently powerful. Sage, Looter. Informant's not bad. That means I can get back Snacker next turn, assuming they don't kill the Looter or something. We'll take 1 here. Carrion Feeder and another Sage. Play Informant. Cast down's decent if I can find a swamp. Alright, there's our Aquifer. Do I need this second Looter at this point? I think I'd prefer everything else, so the fact that I got this out without using the second Looter is pretty nice. Now we have a more formidable attacker and blocker and stuff. They have Village Rites, swing with the Feeder. See, I could force 1, 2, 3 things to get sacrificed, but I could do that next turn with like, and then have cast down to kill it in response. I think that's probably better. Would love to hold Lorien, but I think we should just cycle since we're a couple lands away. If I attack with an Informant, they probably just block and sacrifice. No, I think I just pass and try to like double block or something, make them go all in on the Feeder before I cast it down. Or if they try to play like a Beetle, I'll probably just cast it down in response. Sadistically is basically a Beetle. Yep, I think for that reason we're going to cast the Feeder down. I could cast down the Sage, but we still have to do with the Feeder then. Swing with the Insects. I could trade for a Galeblade. I don't think I really want to do that, but I'll trade for a Snacker. No, because this grows this by 2 counters. It's a lot of counters. I guess we'll leave it. Another Sage. Corrupted Conviction. Yep. Going looting. Get rid of a landscape. I'll flash in the Galeblade. Another Looter. I don't think that's what we need. Let's attack for 5 here. They chump with a stamina. I'll loot. Get rid of this Looter. Yep, that's going to work. They'll trade. Beckoner, pump a Sage. We're going to block the big guy. Sacrifice. Ephemerate. Beckoner goes away. Extract a Confession. Okay. I'll do that. Make them lose their Sage. The big one. Which helps quite a bit. I think we're going to pass, block, try to survive here. They're going to just cast a Beckoner. No attacks, though. That's interesting. I don't know if that was a mistake. Snacker, we're going to get rid of. Hope to draw an untapped land here so I can Lorien. No, we get an Unearth. Okay, Unearth on Informant. Lets me loot another Unearth. Or is Ephemerate better? Probably Ephemerate. I mean, I could get rid of the Lorien, but I don't think I need to. Loot here gets us back the Snacker. Galeblade's pretty good. I guess I'll take the Galeblade, actually. Sadistically on the Beckoner. That only makes sense because they probably have a right of consumption. Oh, they're about to drown in sorrow. That... okay. Well, that makes sense then. We don't die because I have a Galeblade to block. So actually, if we can... assuming they don't have right of consumption, if we can get a cast down, this is better because they used up most of their fodder. I guess I don't die because it's only a 10 left. Flash and Galeblade. I could block and like Ephemerate in case... like to keep it alive and also draw the card on our turn to get back Snackers. I don't think that makes sense. I think we just do this. Jolted Awake, Shambling Ghast, Cast Down, Unearth. Okay, Jolted Awake on an Informant. Pay 2 to loot. Arms of Adar isn't really what we need, but it's not bad. No, Unearth is better, I think. But then we Ephemerate this because that gets us back our guys. There's the Blood-Priest. Well, I might as well discard it because I could just Unearth it if I prefer, which would gain us 3 here. Yeah, I think we do. Pass the turn. They swing. We're going to block this guy. I mean, we're super dead to a right of consumption, but can't do anything about that. And there it is. All right, let's see if we can do anything. This hand is not very good. This one's not very good either. I guess this one's okay. Play a Beachfront, Rafine's Informant, pitch a Snacker, pass the turn. They Lava Dart us, and Kiln Fiend. If I can get a Marauder, then I'll be okay. But if not, we're in a tough spot already. I'll leave this back to block, cycle this for Swamp, cycle on Unearth probably. Flame Slash the Informant, Assault Strobe, and they have a Lava Dart in the grave. Oh, they cast that on us. So my best bet to win is cycle this into a Galeblade, which could instant speed block if they don't have another Lava Dart. My best way to win, I mean my only way to survive. I guess I could have done that before and Ephemerated the Informant, but they could have still Lava Darted it when it came back in, so they could have still killed us there. Alright, Blue Blasts, Extract, Arms of Adar. This is one where it pretty much doesn't matter what we're trying to do, we just gotta stop them. Well, 2 Extracts, Arms of Adar is probably gonna kill their creatures. So let's play an Aquifer. They Rite of Flame into a Kiln Fiend, so we're gonna extract it. And now we wait around for us to get something or for them to get something. They're gonna pass. Cycle this for a Swamp. Cycle this for a Beachfront. We get a Blue Blast, so we'll pass. They have a Kiln Fiend. They might have a Pyroblast. So we're just gonna extract here. Play Informant, discard and Unearth, and we'll start attacking them for 3 at a time. They're gonna Gut Shot it, and then Lava Dart, I assume. Second Gut Shot, sure. I will Unearth it. Trigger, discard this Galeblade. So I can just Lorien reveal next turn. We get a Plains, which is nice because that means if they have a Red Blast for this, I can Blue Blast back if I want to, which I probably don't actually. Swing for 3, pass the turn. They have a Flame Slash, that's fine. Sneaky Snacker, perfect. I can ditch that and then Jolted Awake the other one, bring it back. They have a Lava Dart, that's fine. Jolted Awake, loot, get rid of an island. They Lava Dart again. We'll swing for 2 and go for Lorien. Play a Plains and pass the turn. It's gonna take a while, but with all of our removal, I think we're gonna be a-okay. We will cast that down. Swing. Trying to figure out a way. I should have not cast down, I should have just Maraudered so we could have swapped our Snacker and then maybe gotten it back if I like cycle this and find another thing, but it's fine. Let's just play a Blood-Priest, ping him for 2. We have an Ephemerate and a Blue Blast. Another Blue Blast. Swing for 4. Pass the turn. Alright, we win that game, and let's try to do that again. Alright, we got 2 cast downs. I think this might be okay. If they Ritual into it and then they have protection the next turn, I might just die, but that's just how it goes. Simian Spirit Guide into a Festival Crasher. Blue Blast is good. Fortunately, this is not capable of casting blue at the moment. They're going to Lava Dart us. Swing for 3. Okay, not as bad as I was expecting. Gonna get blue for the Blue Blast. I'm just gonna cast this down while they don't have mana available, though. I mean, they could have Simian Spirit Guide into Apostle's Blessing, but they would still have to at least do that. And if not, I guess I just cast Sneaky Snackers to start attacking. They lava dart the first one, and we'll cast another. They got nothing, and I think we're just going to unearth a snacker, funnily enough. It speeds up our clock, it lets us still hold up Blue Blast. I think it's probably worthwhile. They're not going to lava dart from the grave until they're super desperate because they would lose their only land. They could end the festivities. I'll just counter that. It's not the worst thing ever for us, because like these guys can come back, especially with all these unearths. But I still have a cast down for their creature, not to mention blockers now. They're going to gut shot one of them, that's fine. Pass. Alright, I'm going to cycle one of these unearths, turn it into another unearth variant, and then we draw another unearth. Okay, I don't currently have white mana for this, so we're going to cycle this too, just to see if I hit like a tapped land there. They got nothing. Well, I could unearth a snacker again. I guess that's probably worth it. I could not play anything and unearth, discard an informant, and then next turn unearth it. But I can also get back a snacker here and then flash in a Gale Blade. It's a 2-turn clock. That feels alright. Unless they have another end the festivities. Or a lightning bolt, I suppose. There's a blue blast. The number of times we brought back these snackers just with unearths, not with drawing 3 cards, is absolutely hilarious. Oh, they finally hit a second land. And there's an amplifier. We're going to flash in a Gale Blade, cast down their guy, and attack for 6. And if they get an end the festivities, they could survive here. And if not, we're going to take the match. I mean, a 2-3 with this deck is honestly not that bad. Then again, one of those matches was our opponent having to leave early. We were about to get that game against Elves, but probably not the best matchup for us, so who knows if we would have really won that third game. We did win against Kiln Fiend. That's not necessarily a super hard deck to win against, assuming you just have a decent amount of removal, which we do. We did get one game where things really came together and we were able to win with the Blood-Priests, and that was pretty cool. I did make that mistake, I think, which I've thought about before, but I just kind of blanked when I was building this deck, where I don't really need more clerics than just the Blood-Priests, because they're the only thing that cares about the party, and if we have them, then we don't need another cleric. So these 3 veterans could have probably been some more of these other guys, but I'm not sure that would have made that big of a difference. The problem is just we need very specific creature types, which I do think I was able to build a decently cohesive deck with the looting and graveyard theme, which I was pretty happy with, but in general it's kind of hard. There's a lot of creatures that are really good that we can't play because they don't have the right creature type, and we have so many slots for creatures that we lose out on a lot of slots for good removal and card draw and other stuff. But I always really enjoy brewing some sort of a deck and playing just something a bit unique, even if it doesn't always lead to the best results. So I hope you enjoyed anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my supporters, including my monthly $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.